We are back live at your Bolo Punch Boxing Hour, brought to you by George Rogie Insurance, www.bolopunchboxinghour.com. Streaming to you live, as always, on Ustream.tv. Want to get out the word about a message board that has been taking the world by storm. I'm a part of it. A lot of my friends are a part of it. It's called In This Corner. I don't have a way right off the bat to link you to it. I don't have a link on bolopunchboxinghour.com as yet, but I will get. I promise you, I'll get one up within the next few days. That way, you'll be able to go to bolopunchboxinghour.com and go straight to a link to In This Round. It's got a great group of people. I mean, I could list them all, but well, there it is. Ask and ye shall receive. All you have to do right now is go on to Ustream.tv. If you're listening to the show, then you have a link right now. Thanks to Pete the Heat. Freepowerboards.com/In This Corner. You've got Pete the Heat Perry. You've got Little Holmes. That's Paul Driscoll. You've got Judy O'Brien. You've got Cameron. You've got Chris Guzman. You've got Tim Patterson. You've got Emil Soda-Babinski Kegeman. You've got a lot of I'm excluding myself, but you've got a lot of knowledgeable folks on there as far as the sport of boxing goes, and it's all about opinion and arguing and speaking really horribly to everybody. Yeah, Jim O'Brien is also on there. So, and I'm kidding about the speaking horribly to each other. It's actually a really close group of friends. We get together whenever we can in Canastota. So, and we've got another listener that was on earlier from Canastota, and hopefully we'll get to meet up with them in June. But Saturday night, 2 weeks ago, in Zurich, Switzerland, the land of cuckoo clocks and cheese with holes, heavyweight action, Nikolai Valuev. And when you say heavyweight action, you really mean it when you say Nikolai Valuev. In the 12th round, not a unanimous, but a majority decision over Evander the Real Deal Holyfield. He retains a heavyweight championship of the world, the WBA heavyweight championship to be fully correct. 116, 112, 115, 114, and 114, 114 draw. So two judges saw it, 4 rounds and 1 round for Valuev. Valuev is 50-1, 34 wins by way of knockout. Holyfield 47-10 with 2 knockouts, 27 wins by knockout. How in the world does Nikolai Valuev have more wins than Evander Holyfield?
Yeah, I'm surprised to see that. I didn't even realize that he had more wins than...
When you put it all on paper, it doesn't even make sense.
But Holyfield also has 9 more losses than what he has. So, not that he hasn't had enough fights to actually have more wins than Valuev. But obviously, Valuev pulled this one out. A lot of people didn't see it that way. Most people that watched this fight believe Holyfield won this fight. I saw it different. You believe that Holyfield won the fight.
What I saw were the 4 or 5 rounds, I can't remember, that YouTube had on there. Maybe they were posted by a Holyfield fan, because every one of the rounds I saw Holyfield moving very effectively, getting in on the inside, using Valuev's long reach to Valuev's disadvantage, because when you're really in close, you can't use those arms very easily. You can't punch towards yourself. But you say, by and large, it was actually Valuev that had most of the physical advantages and was winning.
Well, what I saw a lot of, there were a lot of close rounds. I got to give you that. And most people that were watching these fights were giving those rounds to Holyfield. And I was saying there's no way that Holyfield's winning those rounds. You got to remember Valuev's the champ. Not only is he the champ, he's fighting in more of a hometown than what Holyfield was fighting. Obviously, in Switzerland, like you said, everybody booed when they announced who the winner was. But you said when they announced Valuev, everybody booed just the same. So they didn't want Valuev to win this fight.
How does a Swiss audience boo anybody? I thought their whole existence was around, we are Switzerland. We love everybody, we're neutral.
But Holyfield, I thought didn't do quite enough to take the title. I mean, if you got to take the title from the champ. You can't run from him and just pick and pot and get the title. You have to take the fight. You get more points for being an effective, aggressive, and Holyfield, I just didn't see being aggressive enough to win the rounds. Bell Webb wasn't hitting Holyfield very much, but he was always moving forward, trying to catch up with Holyfield, who was running. And when he did catch up with him, he would throw a couple punches, but he had to work his way to get to Holyfield, who was backing up the entire time. I'm sure there's some guys on the board probably right now disagreeing with me right now.
It's possible. It's possible. Bottom line, the champion is still the champion. Lots and lots of commentators and web writers and the Dan Raphael's out there, and
Dan Raphael was very.
Lots of people were very pissed at this decision. Nick Charles was actually quoted on ESPN.com talking about.
And I can tell you what I think of Nick Charles. I think he should be fired. I hate that guy.
His quote, and I'm quoting now, "I am shocked, dazed, and amazed. That's the worst display of officiating I've ever seen," end quote. I've seen some pretty bad officiating. Like the referee that told the fighter, all you have to do is stay down and you win.
Yeah.
Due to the open scoring.
Yeah.
Okay, that guy needs to get pistol whipped. There's some really bad officiating out there. This is actually more of a judging problem.
I think that's more what Nick Charles was meaning.
Well, yeah.
As I said, Nick Charles doesn't just bring himself down; he brings everybody around him down. I don't like him at all. So.
Which is just a little bit different than Joe Calzaghe, who brings himself up but shoves everyone down, including the entire sport of boxing, which made him a millionaire.
Yeah, but nonetheless. I seen this differently than basically I was watching this on the legal feed.
With your buddy Justin, I know.
Not much different than Ustream, how you're on here watching our video where you can chat with everybody.
But this is totally legal.
But everybody on Ustream was basically saying I was nuts for the score that I had. I ended up having it 116-112 as well. So
you're nuts, but you had it exactly the way the judges did.
Yeah,
a lot of people disagree with the judges. So
yeah, that's the thing. Most people do disagree with the judges in this one, but I did see how they scored it, and I don't think you can give the title to Holyfield for what he did in that fight. I didn't think he did enough to take the title from Bell Webb, which I believe is what you have to do. You can't run from the champ the whole time to take the belt. If you're the champ, if Holyfield was the champ, I could have seen him winning this fight by the style because of the close rounds. I think you've got.
Well, since when though, in your world of unicorns and rainbows, do you really have to beat the champion? Yes, if we were in charge of everything, you have to beat the champion. But titles change hands all the time by a guy that barely won, squeaked out a victory. They don't adhere to the rule of. You have to beat the champion. So if it fits our purposes, then we agree with it. Oh, you got to beat the champion, of course. But if it doesn't work that way, we're like, oh man, you should have to beat the champion. It doesn't work both ways.
But that is usually how it's scored. That's how most judges score a fight.
I'd like to think so. There are several instances in the last few years where belts have changed hands on minuscule little edges.
And
Larry Holmes won the heavyweight title over Ken Norton by 1 point in 1978. I just pulled that out of my ass. It's not like I read that. Yeah, Pete the Heat says he knows that Justin guy too. Yeah, yeah, he's everyone's good friend. I'd like to buy Justin a beer. Let's move on down. Saturday night in Cozumel, Mexico, which I saw on a cruise once. Junior lightweight action. Humberto Soto wins a 12-round unanimous decision over Francisco Lorenzo. He wins a vacant junior lightweight championship of the world. Congratulations to our buddy Humberto Soto, who we've seen a couple times in Chicago fight. Scores 118-108 and 117-109 twice. Soto moving on up to 46-7-2 with 29 knockouts. Lorenzo moving on down 33-5 with 14 KOs.
Yeah, when you look at junior welterweight or junior lightweight, there's some other fighters out there that actually would that look quite a bit better than these two guys. But when they got in there together, it was a bit of a mismatch. Soto basically took it to Lorenzo. We thought it was going to be a little bit closer fight than it ended up being, but Soto's had a couple of good fights lately and has worked his way up to the top of this division. He's basically number 2 in this division right now. So we'll have to see what goes on in the future and see if he can get the big prize fights in the future.
Well, now he can use that belt to get on more ballots to get better fights. So he's got that backstage pass now. It was a vacant title. He earned it clearly, but he blew out Francisco Lorenzo. I'm surprised Lorenzo was even in the running for a vacant belt, but no problem. Saturday night, Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. Lightweight action, Joan Guzman, not related, winning a 12-round unanimous decision over Ahmed Diaz. That was a title eliminator for lightweight for Joan Guzman to get back into title contention. 120 to 108, 119, 109. Joan Guzman, what?
Twice,
yeah, on both of the other 2 scorecards.
When Guzman gets in there, he did his normal thing that he does. It looks basically like Floyd Mayweather, slipping and sliding and getting those punches when in that Cobra offense where you slide and then you pot shot the guy and catch him with one punch and then get back out there. Diaz did catch him a couple times, not enough to win, obviously, any more than 1 round. What surprised me was the size of Diaz. Diaz was a big guy. It shows that Juan Guzman's style will work against a much bigger guy, and it did in this one.
I don't understand why he was given a chance against Joan Guzman. This Ahmed Diaz, I don't know one other guy that Ahmed Diaz has ever fought.
Probably because Guzman missed that weight.
Well, Guzman missed the weight against Nate Campbell. I mean, so all eyes are on him to do something. So did they want him to fight someone that absolutely he could beat? Well, sure. And still, I mean, he came in with only 7 losses.
I don't think him going in with Nate Campbell. I don't believe he thought he was going to lose that fight either.
No, in fact, I might even, depending on what day you ask me, had picked Joan Guzman over Nate Campbell. But then again, I didn't think Nate Campbell was going to get out of the 5th or 6th round against Juan Diaz.
Yeah.
And he surprised everybody with a few headbutts. But hell of a fighter, Nate Campbell is. There aren't many fighters I respect more than.
And he does have some of the most power at lightweight.
Crushing power.
Outside of Pacquiao decides to come back down.
Very true. Very true. Moving on down. Saturday night in Antwerp, Belgium. Welterweight action, Jackson Bonsu wins a 12-round title elimination match against Carlos Baldomir. Remember him? That should be his nickname. Carlos Remember Me Baldomir. 114, 113, 114, 112, and tied at 113, 113.
Yeah, Baldomir has slowly slipped down.
No, he has slipped down. It's over.
It's over.
It's over.
He's basically out of the running now for any kind of title shot. It's about time for him to retire. Hopefully he saves some of that money in those big title fights that he got.
Saturday night in L.A., California, middleweight action, Roman Carmazin. 12-round unanimous decision over Bronco McCart, who I've met several times. He's from the Michigan area, which is a really big area since it's actually a state. That was great. It's cool. They got statehood just last week. I noticed it.
They're from the area of the United States,
yeah.
Central region.
He's an earthling. Auburn Hills, Michigan is what I was trying to say. Actually, where me, you, and all of us with Steve went. Tim wasn't with us. Tim was not with us. Forget it.
I wasn't either, so.
It was me, Chuck, and Steve, and Bob. That's what it was. And Chuck wouldn't give money to a homeless man. Chuck, if you're listening, well, you're not, because I can see who's listening. Roman Carmazin beat the crap out of Bronco McCart. Yeah, get this back. And moving on down, Friday night in Denver, Colorado, junior welterweight action. Mike Alvarado, TKO victory in the 4th round over Miguel Angel Huerta. Huerta we've seen several times in Chicago.
As well as Alvarado. We've seen them both quite a few times. Alvarado is actually quietly been working his way up into title contention. This guy has some skills, and he beats a guy here in 4 rounds, and Herta, who gave Kid Diamond all he could handle. I mean, and actually in that fight, I had Herta winning that fight, and in this one, it was close.
I don't know about that, but okay.
It was very close. And but he basically gave Kid Diamond all he could handle, and Alvarado gave Herta all he could handle here in a mere 4 rounds. Alvarado is a very powerful fighter. Herta has actually been the main event quite a few times on Telefutura, and so is Alvarado. So
Alvarado's younger though.
Yeah, he is, and much more powerful.
Yes.
I can't wait to see what this guy has to do. He's very quietly. Most people don't know about Alvarado. And what he's been doing. A lot of people don't watch the Telefutura fights for some reason, and that's probably why they're not going to continue next year with their broadcast. It's kind of sad to see them go, but hopefully a couple other networks, as we've been talking about so far today, are going to pick up the slack.
We shall see. That's all I can say. I think it's awesome that Solo Boxeo ended with such an awesome main event fight. Yeah. As two of their their main Chicago area. I mean, fighters not from Chicago, but have been brought up.
2 guys that have headlined
have been fighting. Yeah, they both headlined in Chicago. That's what I'm trying to say. Baby faces too. They make good poster art. Both of these guys, and for them to be matched up on the last ever Solo Boxeo broadcast, outstanding. Love it, love it. Want more of it. Lightweight action. Brandon Rios knockout in the 5th round over Carlos Caveira. Rios 19-0-1, still only 1 draw to his 19 wins. 12 of his wins coming by way of big knockout. Caveira 12-7 with 1 draw and 9 knockouts. And the last fight on the docket here, Friday night in Milan, Italy. Heavyweight action, Matt Skelton. TKO victory in the 10th round over Paulo Vidos. He wins a vacant European heavyweight title.
Now, Vidos was the guy that we were talking about last week, was going to be the gentleman that, what do you call it? Like Tommy Morrison was talking about fighting. Vidos goes down in this one. They're going to try to protect him a little bit, as far as I understand, and get him in there with a little bit more of a safe guy than Tommy. They were hoping if he won this fight, Tommy would be a big fight for him to go on and fight in his next match.
Yeah.
But they don't want to have the chance of him racking up 2 losses right in a row, so they're going to look for someone that's a little bit easier of a fight than Tommy. And Tommy's looking for a different match. You can go ahead and read that on Bolo Punch. I posted that up there for the. It says who he's actually looking to fight. Looks like he's going to be fighting sometime this year, though, at least once or twice. They got to get all the necessary testing to make sure that he's allowed to fight in the States, and he's assured everybody that he's going to pass that. So it looks like we're going to get to see a little bit of Tommy the Duke Morrison in 09.
Can't wait. The shot that you posted up there of him, I don't know if he was in as good a shape when he was in his prime.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a recent photo or if that's a...
His face looks a little older in that shot. That does not... It is. That's a recent shot. I'll tell you that right now.
I don't know.
What has the guy been doing but working out?
I don't know. I don't know if he's in that shape, but that
was crazy shape, man. His face was rounder. When he was in his prime, he was in Rocky shape. That was the Rocky shape. He was rounder. He had a puffier face, and he had very thick, a very, very thick body. This, he's more cut, and you can see every line of every muscle. Awesome, awesome stuff. Tommy Morrison, we love you. We can't wait till you grace us with your presence on Bolo Punch Boxing Hour. Let's go ahead and take another break. We'll be right back with all the fights that are going to be getting us through the next week or so, and our Golden Leaf fighter you should know, and then we'll get out of your hair. This is your Bolo Punch Boxing Hour, brought to you by George Rogie Insurance. www.bolopunchboxinghour.com, streaming to you live as always on Ustream.com.